Hello, everybody. Thank you for those who started listening to my humble podcast of my personal political and social opinions of the status quo of the world. I already received the first comments. I want to thank you, all my friends that are supporting me with this venture of, podcasting political opinion coming from the perspective of an immigrant who is in legal status and has traveled the world and has studied and has gotten an education. And yet, after coming from living in other not so fortunate regions of the world, I can now tell, in my opinion, what's going on in this country and why is it similar to other scenarios that we already lived and we need to avoid at all cost, because it causes a lot of suffering and a lot of death. And we don't want people to die, because we know what happens when people die. Families get upset, people's lives change forever. And it's not who we are as species. As species, we are empathetic. Every time there is a catastrophe, we all come together to help one another, but not after we got our little dosage of hatred. Like the purge, all these wars and all these problems that we're living in the world, in my opinion, are just social purges. That's what's going on. But I think we know better as species. I mean, we're at a point in our evolution that we already should be able to go and actually literally be on top of some of those exoplanets that we are discovering. But we can't, because our technology is moving as fast as this society. And the little technology that we decide to create is always towards killing, oppressing, shit like that. But a lot of people started commenting. One of the comments was about me saying that, especially with the Marco Rubio thing, that Marco Rubio was born in the United States and then their parents decided to name him Marco, and that was it. He was a gringo. No, what's happening is this. Not only they are born in the United States, or maybe they come when they're 3. Because some of them say, no, I was born in Cuba. I was literally born in Cuba and then I came when I was 3. Yes, I get that. But when you are 3, when you are 4, and you are 5, or you are 6, you don't get the idiosyncrasy of the place where you were born. You get the idiosyncrasies of the places where you were raised, okay? There are cases like, let's go to one of the Republicans' favorite book, which is the Bible. Don't forget Moses. Moses was born a Hebrew and then he was raised by Egyptians. His set of mind was Egyptianly. It wasn't Hebrew. The thing that then he got in touch with his soul through God, the rest is bullshit. Well, the whole Old Testament is bullshit, by the way. But who cares at this point, right? It's a shitty book. I much rather read Harry Potter, to be honest with you. Harry Potter, Lord of the Ring, Game of Thrones. Those are books, those are fucking stories with fantasy. The Bible is just, a Bronze Age shitty book. But whatever. I mean, to each his own. I'm not gonna try to convince you anymore that you're an adult, you have the capacity to start thinking for yourself, and if you want to think that a book written by a Bronze Age goat herders is really the explanation of the universe, then, respectfully I have to tell you, you're dumb as shit and go fuck yourself. But if you, like me, want to challenge every idea that we have been fed, then maybe it's okay if you just keep listening. So, coming back to the point, Marco Rubio and all these so-called Cubans, that's the other comment I received. Somebody told me they are not so-called Cubans, they are self-called Cubans. So let's put a pin on that and we'll come back. These people were raised in the United States. If they want to say, yeah, you know, I got a Latin education at home. Yes, but then you went out the door and you started learning the history of the soil. Your patriotism was with this soil. You know the little localisms of this soil. There's nothing you know about the idiosyncrasy of being Latin America and living in a Latin American country, which makes the whole thing different. It's not the same to be raised by Argentinians in Botswana than to be raised by Argentinians in Argentina. It's different. You're gonna be an Argentinian, you're gonna be a guy from Botswana who speaks Spanish with a funny accent. And that's all. And white, maybe, and white. Oh yeah, but I am from Botswana. I have to be black because I am from Botswana. That is as ridiculous as when you say that you are Latino because your parents are Latino. Do you understand how stupid that is? Every time you say, I am half Cuban, I hear I am full idiot. You are a gringo. Let it sink. Get in love, be enamored with that, because that's the way it is. Every time you left your little Cuban cell, where your parents will tell you how awful Fidel Castro was and how wonderful Batista was, and you think that that is the reality of what was happening? No, dude, let me just let you in a secret. You have only learned one side of the coin. That's it. And coming back to the self-called Cubans, the pin that we put there. This is the name of the game. The name of the game is, I am gonna tell you that I am something that I am not until I convince you that I am that thing that I say I am, but I am not. And I am going to make you call me that thing that I am not, but you will think that is something that you call me because you want to call me that. If you didn't understand this, please rewind it because there will be no way that I can say it again. But basically, they convinced you they are Cubans, because now I'm talking to the non-Cubans. I'm talking about the public, the audience, everybody else who does not belong to this specific pocket of the Florida population. Very strong pocket, but small. Not all Cubans are like this. There are Cubans who actually traveled the world and learned a couple of things. Some of them actually traveled to Cuba, and when they came back, they weren't the same. So, of course I'm not talking about these people. It would be very presumptuous on my part to assume that I can personally know all the Cubans in Florida. However, you can actually see them because they actually present themselves to society every time they speak. The moment they say I'm half Cuban, hello, this is my calling card. Every time they say something like, I am Latino, where were you born? New Jersey, there's their calling card. You can tell, that's who they are. You want to know another calling card? Latinos for Trump. Those people are using your label, your Latino label. And they're telling you, look, I am Latino, and I also support Trump. That's the name of the game. Now, you do not argue with them. Oh, I am Latino. Yes, you are. No, you are not. Should be your answer. You are not Latino. You have not gone through any of the vicissitudes that a Latino goes through. Go look it up. Vicissitudes. Not even the so-called Cubans probably know this word. But once again, I can't presume that I know all of them. But this pocket exists. And it's the same pocket that is always speaking in Telemundo and Univision. Every time I hear those shows and I see my Latin community being duped that way, my blood boils in anger. Yes, of course I'm angry. Who wouldn't be? Who claims to be an empathetic and kind person who wants the well-being of their neighbor? Who would not say that? Who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be angry? If you want people to live in a clean planet, who wouldn't be angry? If you want people to have education so they can thrive and we can become a better species in the long run, who wouldn't be? If you are somebody who's struggling, you work really hard, and you're struggling, who wouldn't be? There are people out there who say, this is possible. We are the richest country in the world. We have all the money of this country goes to the military because you like to bomb brown countries. Why don't you just fucking say it? You disguise it as, oh, I am Latino and I am on your side because you know, coño, man. That's the only thing you know how to say in Spanish. Ño, hacere, come pinga, no comas pinga. Every time you speak Spanish, my sphincter expands, ready to go on a diarrhea attack because you sound so awful. And what is your excuse? Because I had this from another fellow musician. Well, this is the way the language is evolving. No, this is the proof that you are as Latino as Rachel Dolezal is black. This is not the proof that the language. No, I mean, is this becoming like a South Florida Creole? Yeah, I can agree with you. I can agree with you. Yeah, you guys are making this beautiful language very rich that people still by the millions speak it properly, and you want to come and say like, no, it's not that I speak it bad, it's not that I don't know how to speak it really well, it's just that this is the way it's evolving. So te llamo pa atrás. Do you think that's correct? No. The parquear? No, dude, we don't say that. We just allow you to do it because we're not so close-minded. But don't confuse that with I am not Latino. I'm sorry, don't confuse that with I am Latino. You are not. You are a gringo. You barely speak Spanish. Your Spanish is horrible. It makes my blood freeze. So when I get really angry about your stupidity, I then put another video when you start talking in Spanish, and then my blood freezes again, and I get leveled. These people are using your label, and then they say that they represent you. They don't. They don't. And if you're a religious person, think about them as the sheep dressed, as the wolf dressed like sheep. Oh, I'm Latino, but I am supporting a guy who's fucking you in the ass with a cactus. Yes, that's what's happening. And because they are winning this game of you believing that they are something they are not. I always say that they are white, Republican, gringos, with a Hispanic last name. But I'm gonna add something to that equation because I can't fathom I forgot about this. And here it goes. They are white, Republican, dumb as shit, no traveling, no reading gringos with a Hispanic last name. That's what they are. That's what they are. And when I say dumb as shit, another clarification that somebody asked me to make, because I did say that he's stupid, and I did explain this. Dumb as shit, it is not related to your IQ. Your IQ is a measure of how much memory and retention you have. It's a statistic. I care about your critical thinking. These people are dumb as shit because they refuse to use reason. They want to keep with this my daddy tradition. Fucking nationalists. USA, USA, that's what they say. It's stupid. I'm not saying don't like and love your country and appreciate it if you really do like it, but don't forget that immigrants chose this country. If somebody loves this country, immigrants love this country more than you because they actually chose to come here. They decided to come here. They said, I'm going to go to that country because that country to me is the beacon of hope. You just made your way through the birth canal and we're giving citizenship. And then you went beyond that and you tried to also steal, what is it that they call it? Black people call it cultural appropriation. There you go, cultural appropriation. That's what you're doing. You are appropriating a culture that does not belong to you. All right? And I'm calling you on it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I forgot one last thing, another comment that I received. Some of the people that we know in common, because I'm doing this among friends, have told me that some other people have not been able to leave me a message because I'm setting that up. And so far, this is all friends, but you can find the Spicable Thinker on Facebook and you can find the Spicable Thinker on YouTube. I think I'm gonna lean towards YouTube, so I want to encourage you that give me a like at the Spicable Thinker Facebook page and subscribe to the Spicable Thinker YouTube channel because this podcast will start being available in those platforms. I'm sorry, in that platform, in YouTube, okay? Thank you for listening, and once again, if you have a comment or something that I said that you would like to question it or challenge it, please do so, right? Thank you so much, and good luck to everybody.